It appears that the more we uncover, the less we know about the nature of our world. It seems like more and more mysterious events surface from all around that are more than just impossible to explain. They completely defy what we know to be possible within the realms of physics and science. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be going over 5 different mysterious events that people struggle to explain and the facts behind their sightings and encounters. Devil's Footprints, Devon. Referred to by head researchers into the phenomenon as the Great Devon Mystery of 1855, the Devil's Footprints incident seems to be one of the strangest and most impossible to explain mystery events that people are still attempting to try to find an answer for in the modern day. According to the reports back in 1855, many people claimed to have seen hoof-like marks and footprints in the snow travelling down in a straight line for more than 40 miles. These strange footprints were later referred to by locals as the Devil's Footprints, as they believed the devil had cloven hooves. The strangest thing about the phenomenon is that the trail spanned 40 miles in a single night after a snowstorm and demonstrated supernatural properties no person could replicate. It appeared that the footprints were capable of walking over high rooftops, rivers, as well as entering and exiting small drainage pipes that were described as being no more than 4 inches in diameter. It was not until 1950, after the publication of several articles asking for more information on the incident, that a full investigation was provided for the strange mystery by researchers and journalists. After compiling first-hand and second-hand accounts, they found startling evidence that the event couldn't have been a hoax. In fact, the original belief of a 40-mile-long track was incorrect, and further information revealed that the tracks spanned more than 100 miles, with specific consistencies making it impossible for someone to have travelled in a single night. Nothing more has ever been discovered surrounding the event, and no creature was ever seen that made the tracks despite the ground it covered. The man referred to as D.B. Cooper. Definitely seen as one of the most peculiar mysteries is that of the man referred to as D.B. Cooper. D.B. Cooper is the name given to the mystery man that hijacked a Boeing 727 airplane and held the entire aircraft for ransom until he was paid his $200,000 that he demanded. The event occurred on the 24th of November back in 1971, when a middle-aged man of whom went by the name Dan Cooper was registering with the airline purchased a one-way ticket to a short 30-minute flight to Seattle. Roughly 1/3 into the flight, the man handed a note to a flight attendant threatening to blow up the plane. This would later end with the man getting the full demanded $200,000 and jumping from the plane as he parachuted down into unknown territory. Despite the major media publicity of the event, the focus of the FBI and resources from other government agents, nothing was ever known about D.B. Cooper, and he was never found again. The money he took was given tracked serial codes that never surfaced after the event, and has led many to believe that he did the entire stunt for nothing more than to create an infamous legacy. Interestingly enough, the pilots and the flight attendants all said that the man was overly nice, and even paid for the meals of all the people on board the airplane before they made their first landing to pick up the ransom. Today, the case has gone completely cold, and the investigation yielded no results of any kind, even with help from the public and multiple agencies. The Mystery Man from Torrid. Back in the month of July in 1954, Japanese officials at the Tokyo airport seemed to have a problem identifying the country of origin for a man that was ready to board the plane back for Europe. On his verified passport was the country of Torrid, that had no signs for a forged document. After sitting down with the man and questioning who he was and where he was going, he became increasingly annoyed as to why he was being held. They later revealed to him the problem with trying to find his country of origin, of which didn't exist. After arguing with them to show the country on the map, they gathered several different world maps for him to use as evidence of his country's existence. As he pored over the map, pointing in the general direction near France and other areas, he realized that his country wasn't anywhere to be found. He became increasingly disturbed by this and told the officials that his country has been around for more than 1,000 years and that it didn't make sense. When they asked for him to confirm his identity, he gave the name of his company as well as the company he was visiting in Tokyo on a business meeting that had been scheduled ahead of time. The officials then called the Japanese company, but they quickly denied ever having heard of the man or of having any meeting scheduled. Additionally, they could find no evidence of the man's company whatsoever that seemed to not exist. This ended with the officials renting a hotel room for him to stay at, with several guards watching him as they were unsure as to what to do with him. When he laid down to fall asleep, he disappeared and was never seen again. The cover-up of Boston, Ohio. Many people have already forgotten about the town of Boston, Ohio, and what terrible tragedy has occurred in the small town many decades ago. For those that are unaware of the circumstances surrounding the town, the explanation seems all the more strange. Back in 1974, a new executive order was passed by the US President that specified the entire town of Boston, Ohio was to no longer exist and instead be converted into that of a national park. This led the National Park Superintendent, William Birdsell, to introduce himself to the community during that year, which would later see him as the prime antagonist of the town. After many legal loopholes were broken and the town was secured by the government, with the townspeople forced to leave or made homeless, the military stepped in and finished the job by burning every last standing building to the ground. Interestingly enough, William Birdsell was not a name in any previous reports or seems to have any record of any kind before this public appearance, and at the end of the formation of the national park, on the day he was fired as a national servant, he experienced a sudden massive heart attack and died in his office as he was holding the box to put his belongings into. This led to a wide variety of conspiracy theories surrounding the event, believing the town to be at the center of strange reports that caused the government to completely burn down the town and allow the forest to grow back over the region. Despite many having originally claimed that the area would be turned into a public national park for people, to this day it is seen as a federal crime to be trespassing anywhere near the area that can allow the government to shoot on sight if anyone approaches the designated national park location. This provides overwhelming proof that the logic and original motivation from the United States federal government was an outright lie, and the true underlying causes for this occurrence is completely unknown. Where is the crew of the Mary Celeste? On November 7th, 1872, the ship known as the Mary Celeste set sail from New York City with a full crew ready for deliveries. Oddly enough, when the ship was recovered on the 5th of December of that year, the entire crew was missing. At first, theories of foul play were posited, believing that perhaps there was an attack or mutiny on the ship. However, it appeared upon investigation that no damage to the ship was done. Its cargo was completely intact, along with sufficient provisions, and the belongings of the crew was completely undisturbed. It almost appeared as if for some unexplainable reason during their trip, the crew had simply completely vanished into thin air. This has caused many to speculate that perhaps some strange paranormal occurrence had taken place that caused the crew to disappear in the middle of their trip. No official explanation has been provided for the crew's disappearance. But what do you all think of these strange and impossible to explain mysterious events that people are still trying to better understand in the modern day? Be sure to let us know what you think by leaving your questions and answers in the comment section below, while working to help us grow this community as we attempt to solve these unexplained mysteries seen and recorded from all around the world. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.